In this video, I'm going to show you how to enter expenses. So I have selected my award in AmpliFund and I'm on the details page. So I'm going to go to post-award financial expenses. And if you haven't looked at your budget already, let's go to post-award financial budget as well. Your budget should be set up by your program manager, and make sure you have your match column selected in this options area. And in this example, I have $4,000 of grant funds and $3,000 of cash match. So you can see, here's my cash match. The revenue budget is coming from the award details page. So we have one line item for one category in this example. It is possible to have multiple categories and multiple line items on a category. On my expenses page again, you can select the columns that are available to see. I like to use line item, kind, total budgeted, total expense, budget category, total remaining, and cash match. If you already had expenses, you could use this filter by and click Run to view those specific expenses. I don't have any expenses yet. I'm going to click in the actions area, the plus. It's going to default to the grant you're on. If you have more than one grant in your AmpliFund account, you could toggle it here. I think it's easier to just go to the specific grant and add them. Let's choose our category. My example only has one category to choose from, and that'll determine which line items you can choose. And my category only has one as well. This direct cost is cash match, in-kind match, plus awarded amount. So it's the total amount of the expense. So in this case, let's say it is $5,000. Don't worry about the exclude from match. We'll just do that in the financials tab. And then let's say this expense happened on the 21st. And most importantly, I want my expense status to be reviewed. So it automatically gets pulled into a reporting period. If it's not marked as reviewed, it will not go to that reporting period. So we want to make sure that's reviewed. Payees are optional, so I won't worry about that. And in the description, I'm going to do the description of the expense. So let's say that. If you want to put any more description of what actually that is, go ahead. Just going to put that for my example. In the financials tab, I'm going to, this is where you put in your match amounts. You can either use percentage or dollar. I think dollar is easier. So let's say this is $1,000. We'll see that one over here. Or you can do percentage, again, over there. But after I enter it in this area, it will automatically auto sum and correctly, oops, 10,000, correctly auto populate here. I'm going to take out in kind. Then in the attachments area, I'm going to put my source documentation. I'm going to go ahead and click create. You'll see my expense status as reviewed, and I have this edit pencil icon, meaning I can still edit this expense because it is not closed. If it was closed, that means it's in a reporting period. So let's say I want to edit it. Change this to 2,000. If I decided I have a duplicate expense or I don't need this expense, you can use this select feature and use the trash icon as well. Let's add another expense. let's say this one is $3,000. Keep that date, mark as reviewed, very important. Say this is voice 4512. Financials, we'll go ahead and say it is 1,000 again. And I need my source documentation. Create. So then you can start seeing multiple expenses using the same line item and seeing the total budgeted amount for that line item. You see how they're the same since they're on the same line item. And these right three columns are what's actually entered on the expense. This was a $5,000 expense. This was a $3,000. See their cash match breakouts. I'll add one more, and this time we won't add cash match. Say 7,000. Say it's in April. Make sure this is reviewed. That will be the only status you'll use. And so this isn't going to have match. So this is when you can use that exclude from match feature. And that will take away all that stuff. Or what I find easier is just don't fill out the financials tab and just leave them as 0. And let's add that source documentation. And click create. So remember, you can only edit expenses when they are not in a closed expense status. And use your actions to either add, delete your expenses, or you can use the edit icon pencil. If you forget source documentation on a closed expense, you'll have to have your reporting period reopened, because after an expense status is closed, you are not able to edit it at all, but you will still be able to view it.